Well, howdy there, newcomers and old comers alike. I think we're live. Let me just refresh my screen over here so I can make sure. Yep, looks like it. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I am coming down from a huge caffeine crash. So I'm also lowering my chair on accident. So I am feeling very worn out, but I'm gonna be here for you guys because you guys are here for me, and we're gonna finish this horrible book. Maybe we'll finally get to see who the villain is. I hope so, because if we get through 9 chapters with no villain, it's gonna be a disappointment. For those of you joining for the first time, we're going over Justice League: A Golden Opportunity by Michael Teitelbaum. It came out in like 2003. And was a tie-in to the Justice League animated series. Recap of the events so far. There was a night security guard at an antique shop named Simon Rose. His wife had died 18 months prior. He came across a glowing box in the antique shop and didn't know what it was. And all of a sudden, his wife showed up as an apparition. Told him, hey, take this box to this specific address and we can be together again. So he goes to do that, and on his way decides, wait, no, there's some kind of evil in this box. So he stumbles into the front hall of the Daily Planet and ends up leaving it there. And all of a sudden, some ogres show up and they fight Clark Kent, who is there late at night, past midnight, because he has to write up an article on a dog show earlier in the afternoon. I feel like my screen's not high enough. I feel like you're only seeing part of my shoulder. Hold on, let me get like something else to prop my screen on. There we go. That's a pretty thick book. So anyway. There we go. Now we can see it. Well, it's not that much of a difference. So anyway, so he fights these ogres while he's writing his dog show article, and he wraps them up in his cape and twirls them around and throws them down an elevator shaft, and they land on a car that's in the lobby of the Daily Planet, because why the hell not? Why not put a car in the middle of the Daily Planet? But then they disappear, they vanish, they're gone, and Clark's like, well, what the hell's going on? What's up with this box? So he contacts Batman. Batman, Jean, and Flash meet up at the Watchtower. They go over it with their scientific instruments and come to realize that they have no clue what the hell is up with the box. So they take it to... where was it? They take it to a museum. I've got notes right here. I should probably be looking at them to do this recap. They take it to a museum, and the guy's like, well, I'm not too sure. You should probably take it to this antique shop. But before they're able to leave, all of a sudden, like, mummies start coming to life, and there's a dragon and all this kind of stuff. They fight all of those guys. They get outside, and there's like a horde of zombie trees in the park that wants to fight them. And so they fight all that. And then there was they finally get to the antique shop, and come to find out, William Van Nostrand, the owner of the antique shop, is like, oh my God, this went missing the other night. It's the same antique shop. Yeah, go figure, right? Who would have guessed? And he tells them that it is I want to say the box held the crown of Pendragon, which is like King Arthur's family, Arthur Pendragon. So There's some medieval ancient magic going on with it. I think they opened the box or something. No, they didn't take the box there. They took a picture of the box there. And the guy was like, oh my God, this is what's going on. And then somehow, I think they had opened the box up on the Watchtower. I don't remember. At some point, the box was open. And I think that affected Superman, but like it didn't end up coming into play until they were at the antique shop. And now Superman is trapped inside of this cocoon. And nobody knows what the heck is going on. The entire press corps is there trying to figure it out. Lois is there. Snapper Carr is there. I think Jimmy is there. Cat Grant is there. And somehow Lois doesn't realize that Superman's not, or that Clark's not there. She's there for, I think, like 2 days almost, and never once does it cross her mind, wait, why isn't Clark on this beat at all? So that's kind of weird, but it is what it is. And I think where we last left off was Superman just emerged. Is that right? Yeah. So where we last left off, Superman just emerged from the cocoon and is now Golden Superman. I think somebody in the chat the other day said that that's based off of like Superman Millennium or something like that. Like that's a thing that happened in the comics. I don't know. It was a hold on. What are y'all saying? That's where we are right now. I'm gonna check what you guys are talking about really quick, and then we'll hop into the book. Just in case we have any stragglers coming in. Wonder why it only just now started sounding for me. Weird. Oh, well. Coming in loud and clear now. So that's good. You need to tilt the screen down, actually. Is it? I can't do much tilting. Oh, okay. There you go. Superman with his Spawn cape that can wrap around. Yeah, that cape is ridiculous. Sorry for being late. You're good. So is this book canon? So far, there's nothing really that knocks this book out of canon. So it seems like it will canon. There are a couple kind of weird things, but nothing that's nothing that you can't work your way around. Superman 1 million. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, okay. So caught up with you guys. Let's jump into it. We're at chapter 7. For those of you who are just joining us, I tend to try to do voices for the characters. I'm not very good at it, but look forward to that. A barrage of camera flashes and bright TV lights assaulted Superman, who raised his hands to his face and stepped back defensively as the flash kept the crowd back. Batman moved toward his longtime friend. Wait, I didn't even check to see if my audio is recording. Okay, yeah, sweet. My audio is recording. I'm planning on maybe editing this down into an actual audiobook download. But I kind of stumble over my words a lot, so we'll see. Superman! He asked cautiously, approaching... That's not cautious. Superman? He asked cautiously, approaching the cowering golden figure. Zat! As the Dark Knight drew near, the fear in Superman's face turned to... He extended his arms and lashed out, firing searing lightning bolts from his fingertips. Batman dove out of the way, but was struck by an electrical charge from the unexpected attack. It sent him skidding across the floor and crashing into a nearby display cabinet. The Flash sped up to Superman's side. Hey, easy there, Supes, he said. It's us, me, Flash, and your old buddy Batman. We're here to help you, okay? Again, rage filled Superman's face, and he fired a lightning blast at the Flash, who sidestepped the charge, then dashed to Batman's side. I'm okay, the Dark Knight said, dragging himself to his feet, but the same can't be said for Superman. He seems to not even know who we are, Flash said, and he's got that lightning thing going on, which is a new twist for him. Not to mention the whole golden look. Having apparently gained some confidence from the energy discharges emanating from his fingers, the golden-hued Superman stepped toward the throng of journalists, randomly firing lightning bolts. The crowd scattered in terror, thoughts of self-preservation replacing the urge to get a story. Superman stomped through the gallery, an out-of-control beast, indiscriminately destroying priceless artifacts and antiques. William Van Nostrand ducked under his desk. When this madness had ended, there would be plenty of time for concern about the many pieces of history that were being destroyed. Right now, personal survival was his highest priority. Superman! A high-pitched, firm voice called out from behind him. The rampaging Man of Steel stopped his barrage and turned to face the dark-haired woman who slowly approached. It's Lois, Superman! The woman said softly. You know me! We've been through life and death together many times, and we've shared many years of friendship. This is a terrible Lois voice. I'm not giving her the sturdiness that she deserves. Superman stared blankly, tilting his head from side to side as if trying desperately to remember something, anything. Lois Lane! She repeated. You can't do much with a masculine voice for Lois. I'll never be Dana Delaney. She repeated, thinking about her true feelings for Superman, which went far deeper than friendship. You know, the Daily Planet? Fierceness overtook his expression once more, and Superman fired a pair of lightning bolts at Lois. Whoosh! Traveling faster than the lightning, Flash gathered Lois into his arms and carried her across the gallery. The twin energy blast passed behind him, tearing a hole in the front wall of the building. Thanks, Lois said, shaken as the Flash set her down. It's just hard to believe that he doesn't recognize me. Something is very definitely wrong with the big guy, Flash said. But what? Over here, Batman shouted, hoping to get Superman's attention. It worked. His face still twisted with rage, the Golden Man of Steel charged towards Batman. As much as I hate to do this, the Dark Knight said when Superman was just a few feet away, Batman flipped open a compartment on his utility belt and pulled out a gleaming green stone. Kryptonite! Lois shouted from across the room. But that could kill him! Gotta trust Bats on this one, Miss Lane. I'm sure he's got a plan, Flash said. I hope, he added under his breath. Holding the golf ball-sized piece of emerald rock to Superman's face, Batman hoped that the kryptonite would have its usual effect on the Man of Steel, at least neutralizing him for the moment. Superman gazed questioningly at the chunk of green stone, then swatted it from Batman's hand, sending it sliding across the room. Turning, he ran toward the gallery's main entrance, smashing through its glass and steel doors. Once on the street, he leapt into the air and flew from sight. Flash, let's go! Batman cried, rushing through the gaping hole left by the Man of Steel. The kryptonite had no effect. Now we've got to stop him. Excuse me, the Flash said to Lois. Then he tore from the gallery in a crimson streak. So there's a page break right there. Usually when there's a page break, I start putting a couple things in my notes. For those of you who this is your first time joining us, usually the notes for the spreadsheet that we've got for like all of our Watchtower database notes, we've got a column for like character appearances or locations. There's nothing new so far. A column for like what might drag it out of canon. Right now, nothing so far in this chapter. A column for in-show events. I guess technically like Batman having kryptonite might fall under that. So, you know, I will put that there. I don't remember when it's established that he has kryptonite, but he does here. A column for time, nothing for that. A column for like stuff that was concretely debuted at specific points, like if it had an origin episode, kind of like the Bat Signal or the Watchtower or Two-Face, etc., etc., etc. Nothing like that so far. Pop culture, nothing. Weather, nothing. Other clues, nothing. So far, not a lot going on here. And then at the page breaks, I come and I check in on what you guys are doing in the chat. So, you know, if you guys have questions or anything, feel free to drop them in there, and I get around to them. DC 1 million, when in the comics, he lived in the sun until blah, blah, blah. I've missed Flash sounding like Sonic. I wish my Sonic voice was better. Maddie sounds like Jason Griffith Sonic when he flashes. So I don't know which Sonic is Jason Griffith. I have tried to model a Sonic voice for myself off of his appearance in Sonic Adventure 2. I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys, but like I was going to try out to be in like a Sonic fan film thing a little while ago. But by the time like I submitted anything, they had already chosen their Sonic, so I was kind of thrown out. I don't think that fan film ever came to light. I don't remember. I haven't followed it. OMG, your Lois voice is amazing. Mickey, is that you? Lois sounds like Mickey Mouse. I do have a kind of Mickey voice, but like I can only do like a little bit with it. Just like an, oh boy, Pluto, that was fun kind of thing. You know, I guess when I try to hit a higher register in general, it does sound a little Mickey. Please make Flash's voice more annoying in each chapter. Haven't been read to since preschool. This is nice. Superman 1 million camp. That's Ryan Drummond. Also, Sonic Adventure 2 is one of my favorite games. It's a lot of fun. I don't care that people say it doesn't live up to the hype. And like always whine about the Knuckles and the Rouge and the Tails and the Eggman stages. Those are a lot of fun to me. So I come from a family of 6 kids, and that Sonic game had 6 different characters. So we would all, since it's basically a 1-player game, like there's a 2-player element to it, but since the story is 1 player and we all wanted to play it, we would all pick a character and we would switch off each character. And so we all kind of just got our own experiences with it. And then, you know, since there were 6 of us, we all went through the game pretty quickly, and we would go back through and switch up characters each time. So we would just get used to playing as singular characters, and we learned to have fun with all of them. So I don't know why people hate on the game. Yeah, the Chow Garden is beautiful. But continuing on, and like I said, if you guys have questions or anything, you could drop them in there. I get to them in between page breaks, which it looks like there's another one pretty soon. I might just blow past it because that's less than a page. Yeah. But anyway, why can't I remember anything? The golden figure wondered as he sped through the streets of Metropolis. Metropolis. I think I'm just mixed up Monstropolis and Metropolis. Let me, The golden figure wondered as he sped through the streets of Metropolis, a shining projectile flying just above the snarled traffic and the crush of pedestrians. They called me Superman, but the name is not familiar. Nothing is familiar. Not these so-called friends, or the city, or even who I am. Glancing down, he spotted the red-costumed speedster who had referred to himself as the Flash, keeping pace as he dashed through the crowded streets, darting between cars and around people. Looking up, he saw the gray-clad man who had tried to attack him with the strange green rock. That one who had called himself Batman swung from rooftop to rooftop, attempting to keep pace. They claim to want to help me. They say they mean me no harm. But how do I know if they are telling the truth? I guess you don't. Oh, hey, I just got a text from vote.org. I don't know what they want. But since I'm at a page break, I figured I'd just see what the notification was. You guys don't forget to vote if you can. But yeah, I'm just gonna blow past that page break because like that was it. That was where the page break is. You keeping up with him? Batman asked Flash through his comlink. That's not the problem, the Scarlet Speedster replied, dodging a man pushing a baby carriage on the sidewalk and 2 cabs in the street, all the time keeping Superman in sight overhead. Where's he going? And what kind of damage will he do when he gets there? Don't know, Batman said. He tossed a grappling batarang to the edge of the rooftop in front of him, then swooped between the buildings above the streaking golden figure. I'm just trying not to lose sight of him. What was up with that kryptonite? Flash asked Batman as he continued following Superman through the Metropolis streets. Do you always carry a chunk in your utility belt in case Supes goes batty? No offense. No, Batman replied, dashing across the rooftop. But with all the magic that's been affecting him lately, I wanted to be sure I could control him if something went wrong when he came out of that cocoon. Too bad it didn't work, Flash said. It didn't look like it had any effect on him. No, it didn't, Batman said, more to himself than to his comrade. He had already considered several possible reasons for the kryptonite's failure, none of which he was prepared to share at that moment. Zatham! A blast of lightning from Superman's fingertips streaked toward the Flash, interrupting the comlink's conversation. The Scarlet Speedster cut sharply to his right, outrunning the energy bolt, which tore a huge hole in the street. Leave me alone! Superman shouted, his golden face a vision of rage. Looking back over his shoulder, Flash saw the front wheels of a car vanish into the gaping crater, brakes squealing, a look of horror on the stunned driver's face. Extending his right leg, heel first, the Scarlet Speedster came to a sudden stop, then spun around, reversing his direction, racing back toward the plunging vehicle. Reaching the car, he yanked open the door, pulled out the driver, and carried him to safety. Thanks, the shaken driver said as Flash set him down. Who is that guy? He looks like... I know, Flash said as the man's car vanished down the enormous hole. Long story, but right now, I think you'd better see to your car. Zip! A following up lightning blast aimed at Batman sliced through his grappling line, mid-swing, then continued slamming into the corner of a high-rise building, sending debris raining down onto the streets below. Caught among the falling chunks of glass and steel, the Dark Knight plunged toward the sidewalk. Whoosh! Spotting his partner hurtling toward the ground, the Flash raced the 3 blocks that separated them in a heartbeat, catching Batman just before he struck the pavement. Then he zigzagged his way through the avalanche of tumbling wreckage until both heroes were clear. Doubling back, the Flash again sped through the falling debris, this time gathering up 2 stunned pedestrians who stood frozen with fear, gaping up at the plummeting fragments, and carried them to safety. This has got to stop! Batman shouted into his comlink, once again taking to the Metropolis rooftops as the Flash sped along below. He's already 5 blocks ahead of us, and there's no telling what other damage he'll cause. I'm open to suggestions, Flash replied. Brace yourself, Batman ordered. For what? The Flash wondered aloud, his arms and legs furiously pumping. Without replying, the Dark Knight dropped from above, landing on the Flash's back. From there, he climbed up, placing 1 foot on each of his teammates' shoulders, then stood balancing himself as the Flash quickly caught up with the streaking Superman. You picked a great time to try out a new circus act, Flash said as Batman's boots dug into his shoulder muscles. What exactly are you trying to do besides send me to the chiropractor? Just keep up with him, Batman shouted. Looking up, the Dark Knight spotted the golden S symbol on Superman's chest directly above them. Batman crouched, tensing his muscles like a coiled snake, preparing to strike. With a powerful thrust, he sprang straight up, his massive leg muscles propelling him like a bullet toward the Man of Steel. As he reached the flying golden figure, Batman grabbed Superman's waist, locking his arms firmly in place, then landed on his back. Then they kissed. So, that's kind of an interesting move for Batman to do. Kind of just standing on Flash's shoulders as he's running at what I assume is top speed, and then using that momentum to fucking fling himself into Superman. That's It's interesting. James, you need to draw that now. We need to see that animated. Leave comments if you want James to animate that. Superman reached around, preparing to fire a lightning blast at Batman, who grabbed the Man of Steel's wrist, and with an ease that shocked the Dark Knight, prevented him from taking aim. There's no way I should be able to outmuscle him, Batman thought as the golden Superman spun like a drill, trying to fling the passenger off his back. The Dark Knight held firm. Will you just talk to us for 1 minute? Batman shouted, his arm beginning to weaken as Superman's hand moved closer. Just listen to what we have to say. We are your friends. We mean no harm. Superman's wrist broke free of Batman's grip, and the Dark Knight prepared for the lightning burst he was sure would follow. Instead, the Man of Steel slowed his flight and drifted downward, landing in a thickly wooded park. Batman jumped off his back just as the Flash zoomed up alongside them. The trio stepped into a dense grove of trees to avoid being seen. You remembered who you are? Flash said enthusiastically, assuming that to be the reason Superman had landed. No, the Golden Man replied, his eyes darting nervously from one hero to the other. I have no memory other than awakening within the shell. Fear and rage filled my very being, and I felt threatened by everyone near me. Come on, Supes! Flash said. We've battled aliens, supervillains, creatures of all kinds. We fought side by side. You don't remember any of that? And what's up with the gold? The whole Midas thing is a little weird. Superman stared down at his hands, his smooth golden skin shimmering. An image appeared in his mind, hazy at first, as if materializing from the depths of his memory. A crown, he said softly. A golden crown. Batman and the Flash exchanged quick glances. What about it? Batman asked suspiciously. Shiny gold, Superman replied, covered with stones of many colors. I don't know what it means. But it's the one vivid memory I can recall. Then it probably was the energy from the crown that caused this, Flash said. You have such a crown in your possession? Superman asked. Batman nodded. Maybe Jean can help us, he said, his gloved hand rubbing his chin. He opened his comlink. Jean. Oh, that's not Batman, that's Superman. Jean? Superman asked, clearly puzzled. Another friend of yours, Flash explained. Batman contacted Jean Jones aboard the Watchtower and brought him up to speed on their situation. I suggest you perform a level 4 telepathic probe, the Dark Knight said. Understood, Jean replied through the comlink. Probe? Superman said, drawing back with concern. You won't feel a thing, Flash explained. Jean is a telepath. He'll just peek around in your noggin a bit and see if he can dust off the cobwebs. Superman agreed, then closed his eyes. The image of Jean's green face filled his mind, and the Martian's deep but gentle voice resonated within his head. Do not be afraid, Superman, Jean's voice echoed telepathically in his mind. Relax. A calm washed over Superman as Jean probed his mind. Vague images appeared to the Man of Steel. Places, structures, even human faces floated in his mind's eye, but nothing definitive came into sharp focus, except the vision of the golden crown. When the telepathic probe was complete, Superman opened his eyes and breathed deeply. He truly has no memory of who he is, Jean reported via the comlink. The inner depths of his long-term memory are blocked. The only clear image I received was that of the crown. I'm no telepath, Flash began. But maybe if he saw the real thing, it might jog his memory. Yes, Superman said quickly. That sounds right. Take me to the crown. Batman nodded, his eyes narrowing suspiciously. I'll call the Javelin 7. The Jav? Never mind, Batman said. He pulled the remote control signaling device used for summoning the Justice League space shuttle from his utility belt. Within minutes, the unmanned craft appeared in the sky above them, piloted from the ground by Batman. The shuttle drifted gently down. Nice ship, Superman said as the Javelin 7 landed beside them. Thanks, said the Flash. I made it myself. Batman pressed a switch on his remote, and the ship's hydraulic hatch lowered. Superman climbed aboard first, followed by the Flash. Batman stood at the bottom of the entry ramp, staring at the golden figure of his longtime friend. Care to join the party? Flash asked, sensing that something was troubling Batman more than he let on. Without reply, the Dark Knight slowly joined the others aboard the ship. The hatch slid closed with a breathy hiss, and the sleek shuttle blasted into space for the short hop to the watchtower. So that's the end of chapter 7. We are 7 of 9 chapters done with this book, and there has still been no villain to show up. Just a bunch of confusion. I don't know what Michael Teitelbaum's doing. So back to the notes on chapter 7. I guess we got a couple pedestrians that aren't named. I'll just put pedestrians? Yeah, okay, that's how you spell pedestrians. And then we got a mention of Midas. Was Midas an actual historical figure, or is he just a story? I'll just put him under pop culture for now. Other than that, we didn't really get anything else much noteworthy. Just a lot of action. That's A-okay. What are y'all talking about? Hi, top of Maddie's head. Hey, can you not see my entire noggin? Because I see my entire noggin. Superman equals Kirk Thornton's shadow. Batman said that before they left, though, that it had no effect. How is Superman throwing lightning? Superman was in a cocoon. He's golden now. He has all these new superpowers. There was a comic where Superman shot little Supermans out of his fingers. He just goes pew and shoots little Supermans out. So, Superman could do just about anything. Methinks it's the metamorphosis. Yeah, that's probably it. How does the Flash not fall to the ground from the weight of Batman on his shoulders? I have no clue. I really want to see how that would play out. Wonder Bats for the win. It's too bad there's been no female presence at all in this book yet, except for the dead wife's ghost. That's it. It's been dude central other than a ghost. Thanks, bud. Oh, you're welcome, James. I'm going to clean my room while I listen to this. Have fun cleaning, Den. I need to be cleaning my apartment, too. We've got a cat sitter coming in while we're out of town, and the apartment's kind of a wreck. You guys can't see it, and I'm not going to show it to you. Superman likes gold. Superman's crushed. Superman isn't the Shadow anymore. I'm very bad at keeping consistent voices. What do you think about the Batman episode Tiger Tiger? I love any and every episode that has splicing in it, even if it's bad, like Moon of the Wolf. Not sure, but he's never been in the DCAU that I know of. Who's never been in the DCAU? Is Flash bluffing to him about building the Javelin? Probably. I would assume so. I feel like Flash is going to take full advantage of Superman not remembering anything and try to act like a big old goofball. Flash carried Gorilla Grodd. Bats is no big deal. Did he carry Gorilla Grodd like standing on his shoulders though? Or Solivar, whichever one? This is a guy's book. No girls allowed. Exactly. If you want a girl's book, get out of here and read some Powerpuff Girls or something. No girls club, only boys. Right? Am I being inclusive? This is one book Comicsgate will never get mad at. There was also Lois. Oh yeah, Lois was in here. I totally forgot because she hasn't been important. And I guess Cat Grant was there too. Still a sausage fest. Very much a sausage fest. Midas. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, there definitely hasn't been a lot of historical figures that show up in the DCAU. Some of them get mentioned, but there's not a lot of like actual showing up. I did find while I was searching up like the old website for the Lobo web series, I found a face that they did for Genghis Khan. So we've got a DCAU canon version of Genghis Khan. Wasn't there Hawk Girl? I don't think Hawk Girl has shown up yet. Let me just double check the spreadsheet. Hawk Girl was mentioned in chapter 5, but she didn't actually show up. Midas is a Greek king of myth. Okay, so myth. So yeah. He-Man Woman Haters Club. Midas wasn't real in real life, at least. Probably real in the DCAU. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. So pop culture, I feel like, is a fair enough place to set him then. All right. We're going to hop into chapter 8. We're just going to keep this bad boy rolling. Deep within a hidden fortress, not truly of this world, nor completely of another, a dark sorceress ran her thin fingers through her flowing coal-black hair. We finally get another woman, and it's probably the villain. We finally get a villain. Then focused her icy gaze on the crystal ball before her. Her small green eyes narrowed, her vision piercing the smooth surface of the crystal, within which floated a series of images, glimpses of ancient lands, stone castles, and armor-clad knights on horseback gave way to flashes of modern metropolis streets, stores, and museums. Finally, the image of the Justice League's Javelin 7 streaking through space sharpened into focus within the mystic orb. At last, my son will take the crown of Pendragon and claim what is rightfully his. The sorceress cackled. I feel like Morgan Le Fay had a very... This is Morgan Le Fay, right? I assume that... Yeah. Morgan Le Fay had a very monotone voice in the DCAU, right? What is she cackling for? Whatever. The sorceress cackled, her ebony lips parting into a wicked smile. The witch stood in the central room of her fortress before a tall wooden pedestal which held the magic crystal. The large windowless chamber was constructed of enormous stone blocks, its ceiling rising 20 feet, curving on all sides into a dome. Across the room, a red and blue clad caped figure stood, surrounded by a transparent yellow-tinted force field running from floor to ceiling. Imprisoned within the narrow tube of energy, the man saw and heard all that the sorceress did, growing angry at her cocky self-confidence. "You are insane, Morgan Le Fay," the prisoner said softly. Well, that wasn't soft. That's all right. And not for the first time since his capture. "Your plan to place your son on the throne of a new Camelot failed once, thanks to the Justice League. This time won't be any different." "And who's going to stop me, Superman?" Morgan asked the trapped man of steel, taunting him with a look of mock sympathy. "You? Your brave Justice League teammates? I think not." So that's not actually a golden Superman. He's been replaced. I feel like I should have a booster seat. Or I should just sit up. "As we speak, your friends are bringing my son Mordred right to the treasure that will give him the power to rule over New Camelot and, eventually, the world. With the power of this crown, our armies will be invincible." So it's Mordred. So a villain's been there. And he's just pretending to be Superman. Superman thought of the images that had flooded his mind each time he had gone near the Golden Crown. Visions of war, death, and devastation. "What makes you so sure that this crown has the power to do what you say it can?" he asked, his claustrophobic prison growing more oppressive by the minute. "Long ago," Morgan said, clearly relishing the power she now held over Earth's mightiest hero. "In the days of the first Camelot, the wizard Merlin forged the crown of Pendragon, instilling it with powerful magic so that Arthur could rule as king without opposition. Over the centuries, as Camelot passed from memory, the crown was lost. I recently became aware of its energy and realized that it had the power to make my son invincible. My long wait is finally over. The Justice League will hand the crown over to me freely and willingly, and then victory will be mine. As he listened, Superman pressed his hands against the inside of the narrow, confining force field. A jolt of pain shot through his body as he made contact with the inner surface of the energy beam. Arg! He cried out in agony, far less used to the sensation of pain than most. What a pity that with all of your great powers, you're so vulnerable to magic, Morgan cooed, and my magic seems particularly potent against you, perhaps because I've had centuries to perfect it. If you're so powerful, why didn't you just transport the crown directly here as you did with me? Superman asked. He wanted to keep Morgan engaged in the conversation, hoping she did not realize that he desperately sought a way out of his mystical prison. You also seem to have no trouble sending those ogres to Earth. There are limits to my power, as great as it is, the sorceress admitted. As the crown has magical energies of its own, I cannot simply use my abilities to transport it from Earth to this realm. I used a spell of illusion to get that old man to do my bidding, planting images into his mind that he could not resist. I then created a transportation portal inside a Metropolis mailbox, into which I ordered the man to place the crown. I needed someone to physically place the object into the portal. Unfortunately, he fought my commands and brought the box to you instead. What about the statues and mummies that attacked us at the museum? Superman asked, staring up at the ceiling, wondering if the tubular force field was open at the top. Using his super speed, the Man of Steel could fly straight up and through the fortress's stone roof, if the force field was open at the top. I was able to bring those inanimate objects to life because they had no inherent magical power of their own, Morgan explained. But why did you try to kill us at the museum? Superman asked, using his telescopic vision to scan the section of roof contained within the energy tube. By then, the crown was safely hidden. Yes, Morgan said coldly, which I learned by listening in on your conversation at the Antiques Gallery. Up to that time, I thought that you still had the crown. When I learned that it was no longer in your possession, I realized that more drastic measures were in order. And so you created that cocoon and concocted a spell to have Mordred and me switch places, Superman said, firmly grasping the full extent of this mystery. Firmly grasp it. You knew that if my friends believed that Mordred was actually me, they'd eventually bring him to the crown. How very clever, Morgan said. It's a shame that you must perish along with the rest of the Justice League. I'm surprised they didn't see through your plan, Superman said. His telescopic vision revealed that the roof appeared to be free of the spell. He hoped his voice did not show the sudden excitement he felt. I blocked all of Mordred's memories, save that of the crown, Morgan boasted. That way, the telepath Jean Jones could not discover the true identity of the one whose mind he was probing. Whoosh! Sensing that Morgan was distracted by her gloating, Superman leapt straight up into the air at super speed. His fist clenched. He prepared to smash through the ancient stone at the top of the column of energy that formed his prison. Fzat! Ah! The Man of Steel shouted, slamming into the force field, which sealed itself shut at the top seconds before he reached the roof. Your powers are useless against me, Morgan cackled as Superman crashed hard to the solid rock floor. And when the crown is finally mine, I will teach you the true meaning of power. The sorceress turned back to her crystal and watched as the Javelin 7 made its final approach to the watchtower. Your friends are playing right into my hands, she announced, her thin, piercing laugh echoing through the stone-walled fortress. Okay, there's a page break. A lot just happened. Not a lot that needs note taking, but a little bit. So come to find out, Golden Superman, who I guess first showed up in I guess technically at the end of chapter 6, is actually Mordred. So we had a villain with us this whole time. And then chapter 8. Well, I guess I should put Mordred / Golden Superman. That way, we'll remember whenever we look back at these notes a year from now. Chapter 8 gives us Morgan Le Fay, and I think Merlin was mentioned. Have we had Merlin show up yet? No. Okay, tight. So Merlin was mentioned, and then we had Camelot mentioned. And then in-show events. Come to find out, this is definitely after A Night in Shadows, because Morgan Le Fay has tried to build a new Camelot before. Morgan has tried building new Camelot before. So boom. So we got that. What you guys got going on over here? Well, the Amazons were supposed to be a myth. Myth means nothing. LOL. She also had a British accent. I'm not gonna attempt a British accent. I feel like she had a little bit of distortion on her voice too. Like there's something that always felt a little electronic to me. So have you read the descriptions of the other books in this series? 2 of them actually sound interesting and actually well-written since. The Gauntlet is about Wonder Woman getting captured by Apocalypse and being forced to escape without her lasso and magical armor. Wild at Heart is about Superman being forced to go on a crime spree with Lobo across the galaxy. I hate that they tell us the truth of Golden Superman, the chapter right after he first shows up. Well, technically he first showed up in chapter 6, but they definitely could have done a lot of restructuring. Maybe if they had him first show up in chapter 5 at the end of that chapter, and then had chapter 7 happen as chapter 6, and then maybe had the Justice League fight zombie trees or something, or fight Golden Superman even longer. I mean, they have a lot to cram in what's little left of this book. So, I can't fault them. I can't fault them for putting it here because it's so close to the end. It's definitely a chapter 8 kind of reveal. But they should have definitely structured the stuff before it a little better. No, I haven't checked out the other book descriptions. I know the other books' names. I feel like I've probably read the descriptions before, but it's been a while. I do have, I think, I've got Wings of War. I've actually got 2 copies. Come to find out, I just found a copy at Goodwill the other day, and I bought it, and come to find out, I already had a copy. So that's a thing. But I'm going to be getting the other books soon. What my plan is that I will, after this book is done, I'll put like a poll on Twitter for the next book to do, just so you guys get the sneak peek right now. It's either gonna. I've got 4 books right here. I got Wings of War, the novelization of Sub-Zero, the novelization of Secret Origins, which is also written by Michael Teitelbaum. So it might be a complete butchering of the episode. And I have the novelization of Mystery of the Batwoman, which is actually written by Louise Simonson, which, if I remember correctly, she was the writer of the original Death of Superman comic. So that could actually be a fun novelization and make the movie better than it was. So I'm interested in that one, but I'll put a poll up on Twitter after this is done, and then we can choose the next book that way. I don't know how long I'll leave the poll running, but like I said earlier, I will be sitting out next week. because I'm going on vacation back to Florida and Georgia. So we'll have at least 2 weeks to kind of get it all figured out. But I don't think I'm gonna let the poll run that long. Yeah, so I'll put that poll up. Once I figure out what my financial situation is after coming back from vacation, I'll look into buying 1 or 2 more books. That way, every time we finish one, I can add, another one to the poll. What's the book you bought last week at the bookshop/store? That was Wings of War. That was a second copy of that. I find it lame. We never see King Arthur directly in any DCAU media. Louis Simonson also wrote the 2 books in that series that I mentioned. Okay, yeah. So Louis Simonson is, from my understanding, is a pretty talented writer, a really good wrote decent comics. So I'm really interested to see what she's got going on in actual books. I started reading the Mystery of the Batwoman one a little bit ago, and it's I only got a little bit in, and there was an inconsistency already. Like, it was, Barbara said like spring break was coming up, and then like a couple scenes later, it was like, and it's summer, and it's just like, no, it's not. It's not summer. Am I still broke? I am consistently broke. I'm still waiting to hear from my boss about I guess the boss of my night job about starting back there. She just texted me the other day being like, hey, so when can you start back? And I told her, as soon as you need me. I just need this week off for my vacation, but I could come in before then. And she didn't text me back. So I don't know what's going on there. My girlfriend did get a new job. And so we're not like as bad off as we were. Her mom's also helping us like pay for things on our vacation, as well as helping us with rent this month, just because of how rough things have been. But once we get back into town, if I don't hear from the night job boss, I'm planning at looking at other potential jobs in my immediate area. That way, I've got more income going on while I'm not in class. I might even be having to quit my day job and getting just a completely different job altogether, because the last couple classes I need, the only time that they're scheduled is like during the day when I'm gonna be working. Like I need an arts class, and like any of the arts classes I've looked at are like all noon to 1, noon to 1:30 kind of stuff. And it's rough because that's when I'm scheduled to work on my food truck. It's a lunch business, but it is what it is. Let's hop back into the chapter though. Descending slowly, the Javelin 7 glided into the opening dock bay of the Watchtower. With Batman piloting the ship, the journey from Earth had been quick and uneventful. The Golden Superman sat in silence, no longer consumed by fear or anger, yet still troubled by his inability to remember anything about his life before he emerged from the cocoon. The Flash sat beside him, sensing his unease, still aware that something about all of this had struck Batman as not quite right. However, quiet reflection was not something that came easily to the Scarlet Speedster. His mind was a constant torrent of thought. He had great difficulty focusing on a single topic for any length of time, and most of the time, whatever came to his mind came out of his mouth in short order. So, did this little bit of space travel jug any hidden memories? Flash asked as the ship landed and Batman shut down the engines. No, the Golden Superman replied. Nothing fills my mind but the image of that crown. Well, you'll be seeing it soon enough, right, Bats? Flash called out to the hero on the pilot seat. Batman merely grunted, clearly not wishing to encounter this conversation. He completed his post-flight checklist for the shuttle, putting the great ship into its standby mode, then sprang from his seat and opened the hatch. The door hissed open, dropping down to form a short ramp connecting the passenger section of the ship to the docking bay floor. Batman strode quickly down the ramp, followed by Flash and the Golden Superman. "This is most impressive," the yellow-hued Man of Steel commented as the trio made their way through the connecting corridors of the mammoth space station. "It's not much," quipped the Flash, "but we like to call it our high-tech orbiting headquarters." Reaching a science lab just off the station's main observation deck, Batman, still grim-faced and tight-lipped, punched the entry code into the electronic security system. The lab's door slid open with a soft swoosh. John Jones ambled over from his research station to greet his arriving teammates. "Superman," Jean said. The Martian was startled by the Man of Steel's strange appearance, though his feelings remained safely hidden behind his stoic Martian exterior. "It's good to see you, my friend. You have been through quite an ordeal." "John Jones," the Golden Hero said. "I feel as if we have met, although I have no true recollection of that." "This is often the case with those whose minds I enter telepathically," Jean explained, "although, of course, we have actually known each other for years, Superman." "We thought that if Soup saw the crown, it might actually help bring back his memories," Flash said. "Actually, it was my idea." Batman rolled his eyes and crossed the room to join Jean at his control panel. "Have you been able to learn any more about the crown?" he asked. "No," Jean replied. "I have not been able to match its energy signature to any in our database, nor have I been able to identify some of the stones." "You've kept it in a safe place, I assume?" "Yes," said Jean, typing a coded sequence into the lab's main computer. A loud humming filled the room as a square platform descended from the ceiling. Suspended in a stasis field in the center of the platform, floated the lead box containing the mysterious object responsible for starting the entire ordeal. Jean shut down the field, and the box drifted slowly to the floor. "Are you sure about this?" Jean asked Superman. "The last time I opened the box, the crown's energy greatly weakened you." "It's a chance I'm willing to take," the Golden Man of Steel said, unable to take his eyes off the lead container. Jean nodded, then flipped up the box's hinged lid. He removed the gleaming crown and handed it to Superman. Instantly, brilliant light flooded the room. This time, however, the blinding radiance appeared to be emanating not from the crown, but from the golden body of Superman. Batman braced himself, watching as Superman's facial expression changed from that of slightly dull confusion to one of knowing evil. "Mother!" This shimmering, distorted image of the Man of Steel shouted, exhilarated by the memories flooding back into his mind. "I have it!" It was clear now to Batman that this man knew exactly who he was. It was also quite obvious that he was not the last son of Krypton. "Flash!" Batman shouted. "Grab him, now!" Batman dove at the Golden Imposter's midsection as the Flash, reacting more to Batman's tone than to his words, dashed up to the strange shining figure, grabbing him around his chest. The searing illumination in the lab grew brighter still, forcing Batman to shut his eyes. But he maintained his grip on the imposter. A strange sensation flooded over the dark night, the feeling of moving rapidly through space, being pulled by a powerful force and taken on a journey beyond his control. Opening his eyes, Batman found that his field of vision was still filled with blinding yellow light. Although he could barely make out his surroundings, it was clear that he was no longer aboard the watchtower. Okay, so that's the end of that chapter. We did get, that was chapter 8, right? Yeah. So that's chapter 8. We got hold on. We got a mention of years. Jean and Superman have known each other for years. if you recall from the Justice League timeline video, Justice League starts in 2000 and ends in 2002. So this confirms what I was saying earlier about when it was talking about Batman and Superman having known each other for a number of years. How I said that the way it was worded sounded like more than 2. So we're in 2002. John and Superman have known each other for years. My guess is this is likely in between. Well, it's obviously after Comfort and Joy. It's probably in between like Wild Cards and Starcrossed. Dwayne McDuffie went on the record and said that there's a matter of months between those episodes. So real easy to fit more stuff in. But yeah, that was the only other note that we had for that chapter. We just got chapter 9 and the epilogue left. But what are and James, I'm not keeping this epilogue a secret. Your John Jones voice sounds like Samurai Jack. Yeah, I've definitely that's kind of what I've been channeling. I don't know how to do a Jean voice properly, and I've noticed myself that I was doing like a really bad Samurai Jack impersonation. Maddie pauses as he reads years. Yeah, I did. Because it was like, I knew it. Watch something in chapter 9 happen that like just throws this entirely out of canon. And it does, and this whole ride's been worthless. What are the episodes in the DCAU that I hate the most? Terrible Trio is an awful episode. It's the animation's bad, the story's bad, the whole thing's just not fun. I don't feel like I've got any other ones that I hate. But I know like I'm not a fan of a lot of the early BTAS episodes, like Underdwellers and The Forgotten, and I've got Batman in my basement. You know, the ones that like are like, we're doing a noir show that's going to be serious and mature, but here are these episodes for children. Those ones were never fun. I feel like Zatanna, the episode Zatanna, not the character, could have used better animation, but it's not a bad episode altogether. Wow, we are at, how many more pages are left of this? 99, and it goes to page 121. So we got 22 pages left, my guys, my girls, all y'all. Let's do this. My nose is starting to itch again. It always does this like towards the end of the things. Batman landed forcefully on a cold, hard floor, and as his vision cleared, he could see that he was now in a large stone structure. Glancing up, he spied a high domed roof. The walls were covered with ancient weapons, giving the place a feel of an old-time dungeon. Leaping to his feet, the Dark Knight spotted the Flash sprawled on the stone floor beside him. "Flash!" Batman said, kneeling down beside his friend. "Did you get the number of that truck?" The Scarlet Speedster mumbled, grabbing both sides of his head with his hands. "I'm okay, but where?" "I see we have unexpected guests, my son," said a thin, eerie voice from across the room. Batman looked up and Flash scrambled quickly to his feet. "Morgan Le Fay!" the Dark Knight exclaimed, seeing the sorceress standing before a billowing curtain of blackness, as if the room ended immediately behind her. "Batman," the sorceress cooed, "I'm so touched that you remember me. I expected only to transport my son and his prize back to my fortress. But I suppose when you made your rude attempt to stop him, you and that other came along for the ride." "I know I say this far too often," the Flash said, "but will someone please tell me what the heck is going on?" Ignoring Flash's request, Morgan Le Fay reached out and took the golden crown from the glowing figure before her. Instantly, the golden version of Superman morphed into his true form, that of a 12-year-old boy. Mordred's 12. That's something to know, I guess. He's really older than 12. He was probably called 12 in the show. I don't know. He's eternally 12. But now we know, if we didn't know. Mordred is 12. Welcome home, Mordred, Morgan said warmly. I believe you know my son, Batman. Now that I have removed the illusion I had placed on him. Mother! The boy cried, running over to the sorceress and hugging her tightly. At least there is nothing to stop us! So, on a scale of 1 to 10 on looniness, these two are what, 27? The Flash whispered to Batman. The Dark Knight said nothing, but stared at Mordred, recognizing the short, thin boy with long, light brown hair as Morgan's son. He had encountered the sorceress and the boy during her previous attempt to attain a magical artifact that would give young Mordred great power, an attempt that was foiled by the Justice League. When placed on his head, she said, this crown which you so thoughtfully delivered into my hands will give my son the power to rule a newly restored Camelot and ultimately rule all of humankind. Where is Superman? Batman demanded. You may see your friend before I destroy you all, Morgan cackled, raising her thin, pale hand. As she gestured, the veil of darkness behind her dissipated, revealing the remainder of the room, including Superman, who was still trapped within the magically created force field. Batman! Flash! The Man of Steel called out, looking worn and tired from his imprisonment. How did you? Long story, Batman replied. Are you all right? I would be if there was a way out of this energy field, Superman explained. No! Morgan's shriek startled everyone in the fortress, including her son. What is it, Mother? He asked, frightened by her outburst. Morgan dashed the golden crown to the floor, sending its multicolored stones scattering across the room. It's a fake! She blustered. This is not the true crown of Pendragon. It's an imitation made of cheap foil and worthless stones. Morgan turned to Batman, her eyes inflamed, rage bristling in her voice. This is your trickery! No doubt! She shouted, raising her arms above her head. A team effort, actually, Batman said, bracing himself for the coming attack. I had a little help from a telepathic friend. The sorceress formed a blood-red ball of radiant energy between her hands. Thrusting her arms forward, she flung the pulsating sphere at the Dark Knight. Diving out of the way, Batman somersaulted back to his feet as the powerful energy sphere rammed into the wall behind him. Morgan's next magical blast shot from her hands, ricocheting around the room, eventually tearing a hole in the stone ceiling. Chunks of stone and clouds of dust rained down on Batman, who grabbed a nearby shield that was hanging on the wall for protection. Clenching her fists, focusing her magical abilities on the objects in the fortress, Morgan unleashed a barrage against the heroes. Flaming torches from all over the fortress leapt from their forged iron wall. Sconces? From their forged iron wall sconces? What is a sconce? What is a sconce? I'm looking this up. What is a sconce? This is sconce light fixture, Wikipedia. Give me images. Give me images. Okay. So it's just the thing that holds a lamp on the wall? I guess that makes sense in the context. Where was I? Where's the word sconces? Leapt from their iron wall sconces and flew at Batman and the Flash like fire-tipped spears. Batman jumped straight up, allowing torches to pass beneath him. Grabbing hold of an ornate chandelier, he swung across the room, landing in a crouch, ready for the next assault. Even Mordred was not prepared for the physical manifestation of his mother's rage. The boy ducked behind the hand-carved throne she had prepared for him in anticipation of gaining the crown. The Flash, meanwhile, easily outran the streaking missiles, speeding around the room, sidestepping the projectiles. As he passed by the energy prison holding Superman, the Scarlet Speedster noticed that the force field appeared to flicker momentarily. Superman 2 realized... Superman 2, the movie. Superman 2 realized that the mystical barriers seemed to have weakened. Gathering his strength, the Man of Steel hurled himself shoulder first against the circular force field as he struck the barrier. Superman felt his arms pass through. Or as he struck the barrier, Superman felt his arms pass through. Gotcha. Okay, there's like no page break until the chapter is almost done. So I'm going to get to the end of this page and then see what you guys are going on with. Struggling mightily, he tried to push the rest of his body past the curtain of power, but it snapped shut, tossing him back. He collapsed to the ground, exhausted from the effort. Morgan released yet another round of magical force, this time chipping bits of stone from the very walls of the fortress, flinging them at Batman. He dropped to the ground, splaying himself out flat on his stomach as the wave of jagged stones passed just inches above his back. Flash appeared in the cage. "You almost made it through that time," the Scarlet Speedster said. "She's distracted trying to destroy bats. Not to mention completely insane. She's having trouble maintaining the force field at the same time she's flinging half the fortress at us." "I've got to try again," Superman said through gritted teeth. "It may be my only chance." "Let me help," Flash said. The Scarlet Speedster took off, running in a tight circle around the energy field. It looked to Superman as if a thin red wall of color had been thrown up. It looked to Superman as if a thin red wall of color had been thrown up outside his prison. All right. Hey, boys and girls. Considering Darkseid shows up in a book, and we know every time he shows up to fight the Justice League are the only times I get a feeling these books aren't canon. By are the only times, I mean are the only times that he fights them in canon, with no hints that he ever fought them any other time. Yeah, so the way that we work out canon stuff isn't necessarily as a whole series. Like obviously the way the DCAU is structured, if Bruce Timm makes more DCAU content, or if anyone does, I guess, like how likely do you expect it that they're going to read the Adventures comics or these books or any of it at all? How likely is it that you expect that they've read any of it? But the fact of the matter is that from the corporate standpoint, they're all marketed as part of that world. They're all confirmed, by WB or DC to be part of that world. And so what we do as far as canon goes is like we, if it's more than 50% of a series doesn't fit, then we throw the whole thing out. So like say Adventures in the DC universe or like possibly the Justice League Adventures comics. I still haven't read those all the way, or the Justice League Unlimited comics. James says that they're pretty big at contradicting. But like with these books, I feel as though we can take each one as its own thing. Even so, like even if like the Darkseid one is the only one to contradict, like, there's no need to throw out the rest of them if they work within canon. The way we see it is it's more fun to have as many stories possible work. And it makes it easier to kind of narrow things down that way rather than be exclusionary. Like, obviously, like I said, if Bruce Timm or anyone makes more on-screen DCAU, that counts more than anything in any of the comics, any of the books, any of the video games. That's why if you've seen our timeline and Will It Canon videos, we've got a document in the description box that kind of goes over like our parameters for how we judge canonicity. It's actually pretty deep. It's pretty thought out. It's based heavily on the the Star Wars expanded universe, like Holocron continuity project, because like they had this thing where like everything is canon, even if it contradicts, but there were tiers of canonicity. So it's like, obviously what you see in the movies, if anything contradicts that, then it's canon, but throw out the parts that contradict it. But like they would go like movies, TV shows, books, comics, video games, something like that. I don't remember the specific nature of it, but that's kind of what we based our rules on. A thing that holds torches, I think. You're absolutely right, that boy. They hold flowers on walls, you uncultured swine. Look at me. Look at me. You see these posters in the background? They're in frames that don't even have bottoms on them. There's no bottoms to these frames. I'm not a rich boy. I'm poor. Leave me alone. What do you do in college? So when I started college, I wanted to go for music production. I actually like used to work with like doing remixes and stuff like that on my own time. They probably weren't very good. And then like there were a couple local bands that I did like demo EPs for, which I know for sure weren't good. But like I wanted to get good. So when I was signing up to do college stuff, I was like, this is what I want to do. And the college that I was accepted for was just a community college. And they said, well, you know, we don't have that. But if you're going to open a studio, you need to be good at business. And so we could set you up for a business degree. And so I was like, yeah, okay, sure, that's fine. And so I went and did that for 2 years, and I was not liking it really. But, you know, I was, you know, going for it anyway. And eventually my financial aid goofed up. And so it kind of screwed me over. I had to drop out. And now like I'm coming back and I'm trying to take what I already had and repurpose it for like an education and arts degree. You know, I'm wanting to do something with writing, and I'm wanting to like maybe be like an elementary school teacher as a second choice. I would much prefer to be writing comics and cartoons, but like, you know, a job in the arts is difficult to find, and it leads you to being broke a lot of the time, from what I understand. So it is what it is. If I have to, you know, teach in elementary school, it's you know, it's not good money, but it's better money than what I make right now. So, you know, I'd one or the other. But I mean, like what I'm doing right now, the degree kind of works for both fields. So, you know, the last couple classes I'm needing to take are like I've signed up for a creative writing class. I'm wanting to sign up for like a drawing class or a drama class. A drawing class would help so that I could like create like show pitches or comics or something like that. A drama class would help so that I could you know, act or something like that. But you know, either or would be helpful. And then I think I feel like I have to take another math class. I don't know. I've been trying to figure that all out, but the math department guy isn't very helpful. Somebody say football. I said football. My Mississippi grandma's house is full of sconces. I feel like I'm probably even saying that word. It's been a fun ride. It had to end at some point. I suggest you read the Mr. Freeze novelization thing if you don't want to do more Justice League books. I'm going to do them all. Eventually, every DCAU book is going to be read on this channel. I'm committing to something. I'm not very good with committing. But yeah, eventually I would like to read every DCAU book. I feel like to do them in a timely manner, I might need to pick up the pace. A way that would help me to pick up the pace is if we got more subscribers, because I can't monetize this channel until I've got 1,000 subscribers and I think 4,000 hours of watch time. And so like these live streams are good for the watch time part of it, because, you know, if there are 8 of you watching now and all of you have been sitting here for the last hour, that's 8 hours of watch time right there. But like without, you know, subscribers or anything, I can't do much with this channel. And so if I want to monetize it and make it a worthwhile endeavor to stream every night, I got to figure out a way to do that. So I probably should be putting more original content on here, but I haven't done video editing in a while. So it's going to be a long shot, but that's all right. Anyway, I'm gonna hop back into the book. Where was I? I just realized like how shiny my head looks. I should probably like tilt that down a little bit. There we go. That's probably gonna like start a fire. There we go. Okay, that's whatever. Flash saw the force field flicker once again. Now! He shouted, maintaining his speed. Superman plunged his mighty fist through a weak-ended section of the energy curtain. When he spotted Superman's blue-clad arm extending from the force field, Flash grabbed it, adding the power generated by his own speed to the Man of Steel's super strength. Zap! Boom! Superman exploded through the magically constructed prison. He tumbled to the ground with Flash landing on his back. Thanks, the Man of Steel said, feeling his strength return. Let's go give Batman a hand. The weakness in the force field that had allowed Superman to break free of his cage occurred because Morgan had summoned a great surge of magical energy. Her power surrounded the main room of the fortress, peeling the many ancient weapons, swords, knives, maces, axes, lances, and spiked clubs off the walls. The assembly of weapons sped toward one central point in the room. Batman. The Dark Knight looked quickly over his left shoulder, then his right. Sharp, deadly objects flew at him from all directions. There was nowhere to duck, jump, hide, or swing out of the way. In the split second it took for this realization to hit, Batman heard a welcome, familiar voice shouting, "Down!" Dropping to the floor, his knees pulled into his chest, his head tucked down, Batman felt the weight of Superman's body landing on his... There's a lot of bodies landing on bodies. Landing on bodies, landing on bodies. Then he heard the clinking and clanging of the various weapons bouncing off the Man of Steel's invulnerable skin. When the last sword had glanced harmless... That's a weird use of the word glanced. When the last sword had glanced harmlessly off Superman's back, the two heroes rose and were swiftly joined by the Flash. "It's over, Morgan," Superman said forcefully, feeling much more confident challenging the sorceress as part of a team, despite his vulnerability to her magic. "Wrong, Superman," Morgan cried. Mordred ran from his hiding place to stand at his mother's side. "It has just begun." Crossing her arms over her chest, Morgan threw back her head and let out a shrill, unearthly cry. "Aye!" She screeched, her battle cry like the scream of a wounded animal. The reflective glass surface of a large, ornately framed mirror hanging on the wall above the throne began to ripple like water in a breeze. Answering cries from the mirror echoed the sorceress's shriek. And then a dark hole in the center of the undulating silver surface opened, and an army of ogres, even larger than the one Superman had battled earlier, came leaping through one by one, their huge clubs raised menacingly, glowing with magical energy. "Destroy them!" Morgan ordered, pointing at the heroes seeking vengeance now that her plan had been foiled. She once again erected a dark curtain of energy, stepping behind the veil along with Mordred, where they could observe the coming battle. The first wave of ogres rushed toward the trio as still more of the creatures poured into the room through the magical mirror, yellow drool splattering from mouths filled with rotten brown teeth. I guess working for Morgan doesn't include a dental plan, huh? Flash said, wincing at the sight of the hideous beast. Watch out for their magically enhanced clubs, Batman cautioned. You don't have to warn me twice, Superman said, recalling his previous battle against Morgan's ogres. First things first, Flash said, spying a mace on the floor that had been propelled off the wall by the sorceress's tirade. I'm going to stop any more of our gruesome friends from coming through that mirror. Hey, I hate how itchy my nose gets. It's definitely cat hair in the air. Like, yeah, there's cat hair like on the table and everything. He came up here trying to mess with me right before the stream. It just takes a while to kind of hit. Speeding around the edge of the army of ogres, too fast for any of the beasts to stop him, Flash scooped the mace from the floor and continued on his way. When he had almost reached the enormous mirror on the back wall, he lifted the heavy weapon, then swung it forward, adding the force of his speed to the momentum of the mace. Crash! The huge glass shattered, spraying shards in all directions. Its massive frame tumbling from the wall. Camouflaged by the cloud of debris, the last ogre through the mirror slammed Flash with his magically charged club, batting him across the room, I should say. Woof! The Scarlet Speedster cried, the breath knocked from his body. Unable to breathe or find his footing, the crimson-clad hero watched helplessly as the far wall of the fortress sped rapidly toward him. Whoosh! From the corner of his eye, the Flash picked up a streak of red and blue. Superman flew low, mere inches above the floor, and caught the Scarlet Speedster just before he hit the wall. He pivoted in midair, speeding out of the way of the blow from an ogre's club. Thanks, Flash said weakly, regaining his breath as the Man of Steel placed him on his feet. Meanwhile, across the room, Batman fired a wall-penetrating grapnel from a handheld launcher straight over his head. The sharp-tipped dart, attached to a bat line, pierced the stone ceiling, digging in and grabbing tightly. Leaping high and clutching the thin but strong line, Batman swung over the charging, infuriated ogres, who swiped their clubs at the Dark Knight as he passed by just out of reach. As he sailed over the heads of the enraged creatures, Batman tossed several bat bolas down at them. The speeding bolas wrapped around 3 or 4 ogres at a time, tying them up, pinning their arms and their magically enhanced clubs to their sides. How small are these ogres? Like, okay. Superman was able to wrap his cape around 2 ogres. These ogres are even bigger, and Batman's bolas are able to wrap around 3 or 4 of them at a time. I don't understand it. I hate how itchy my nose is. Where is I? With the ogre's weapons neutralized, Superman took to the air again, flying above the army, unleashing powerful, devastating blows to the creatures. As each ogre lost consciousness, his body shimmered out of existence, vanishing in a brilliant flash of white light. Well, that's convenient, commented Flash, now fully recovered and weaving between the beasts. No messy bodies to step over. It also gives us a bit of breathing room. As we reduce their numbers, Superman pointed out, uncorking a mighty blow to the head of an ogre. Thwomp. As Superman completed the follow-through on his punch, an ogre caught him in the back with a crushing blow from his club. Arrgh! The last son of Krypton cried, tumbling out of control. He crashed into a stone wall, which came down on the top of the fallen hero. Batman, from his vantage point above the ogre shifted his weight in midair. The Dark Knight then swung on his grappling line, landing beside the pile of stone and dust under which the Man of Steel was buried. One by one, Batman tossed chunks of rock off the pile of rubble, trying to free his friend. "I'll keep these guys occupied while you help Soups," Flash chimed in, running up to an ogre who was headed for Batman and stopping, making himself an easy target. "Hey, handsome, want to go clubbing?" The beast roared and swung his club at the Flash, who easily darted out of the way, the club smashing into the floor. Enraged, the ogre followed the speedster as he led the creature away from Batman. Appearing to be in 10 places at once, the Flash repeated his trick of stopping right in front of an ogre, then moving just enough to avoid the creature's weapon while remaining close enough to keep the beast focused on him, not Batman. "Yo, man!" Flash said as he stopped before an ogre's spitting drool as he roared. "Get a bib or something, will ya?" The beast swung his massive club like a baseball bat, but Flash sped 10 feet to his right, then stopped suddenly and watched as the club smashed into the midsection of another ogre, destroying the creature. This distraction gave Batman enough time to dig through the rubble, clearing away hunks of stone until he reached the debris-covered Man of Steel. "Are you all right?" Batman asked, helping Superman to his feet. Brushing the pulverized rock from his eyes, the Man of Steel stood up, feeling his strength return. As Kryptonite did, magic affected him quickly and powerfully, but wore off soon after the exposure stopped. "I'm okay," he said sternly, "but it's time to end the battle." "I can provide you with cover," Batman said. "They won't be able to use their weapons against you." Reaching into his utility belt, the Dark Knight pulled out a tiny round capsule, then dashed the marble-sized sphere against the hard stone floor. Smoke poured from the tiny capsule, quickly engulfing the ogres in a thick fog. Unable to see their adversaries, the ogres grew confused, slamming into each other and lashing out wildly. Using his X-ray vision to see through the billowing smoke, Superman flew swiftly around the room, locating each panicked ogre. The Man of Steel delivered crushing blows to the beasts, each one vanishing as it was struck until the last beast had disappeared. Seeing the tide of battle turn against her, Morgan whispered softly to her son, "We have waited all these centuries to reclaim your throne, Mordred," she said in a soothing maternal voice. "We will bide our time in return. I promise, my son." Tears flowed freely down Mordred's face. The eternal 12-year-old less at home with the concept of patience. "No!" he screamed, his tantrum growing fierce as Morgan cast a spell and the two vanished in a bright flash. "It's over," Batman said, realizing the significance of the sudden burst of light signifying the end, for now at least, of Morgan Le Fay. "Yeah, except for all this," the Flash said, waving his hand to push the smoke away from his face. "Didn't you read the Surgeon General's report on secondhand smoke?" Speeding around the room over and over, he created a whirlwind, which sucked the remaining smoke up through the hole in the roof, created earlier by Morgan's magic blast. There's still one thing I'm curious about," the Flash said to Batman when he had finally come to a stop. "How did you signal to Jean to substitute that fake crown for the real one? I was right beside you the whole time, and so was Golden Boy." "When I asked Jean to do a level 4 telepathic probe on Golden Boy, as you called him, that was a prearranged standing code we have," Batman explained. It let Jean know that I wanted him to read my mind first, so I could send him a message. When he did read my mind, I told him to prepare the fake crown and hide the real one." "So there is no such thing as a level 4 telepathic probe?" Flash asked, a bit embarrassed that he had no idea about Batman's coded message. "Not that I know of," Batman replied, suppressing a smile at his cocky teammate's discomfort. Superman turned to his longtime friend. "But how did you—" The Man of Steel was interrupted by the sound of cracking stone. Looking up, he and the others saw that the fortress was crumbling. "A final goodbye present from Morgan?" Superman asked as a huge chunk of the roof crashed to the ground beside them. "Let's not stick around and find out," Flash suggested as a wall on the far side of the room toppled toward them. Superman led the way, flying swiftly toward an outer wall of the fortress and slamming a hole through the stone with his fists. Batman dove through the hole next, followed by the Flash, speeding away from falling rocks and rubble. Okay, so there's a page break right there. And my nose is itching like a fiend. I'm sorry you guys are watching this. It's kind of gross. Glance can if I skip an ad, do you still get ad revenue? I'm not sure. I don't know how all that works. But yeah, just make sure you don't have ad blocker on, as James said. Glance can mean like just barely hitting something. That's fine. It's just not the common use of the word, so it kind of threw me off. Dental plan. Insert Simpsons joke here. I don't know if I've ever watched an episode of Simpsons, so I don't know if I get it. Mordred is 12 confirmed. Yeah, he was confirmed 12 earlier in the chapter, and then they said it again. You don't. The ad has to play through. That's good to know. I've heard that you get more money if people click on the ads, but like YouTube is very shady about what they do and don't tell creators, but I feel as though if people click on ads, like obviously it gives the ad buyer more incentive to purchase ads. And so it's it's more engagement for the ad buyer means better. Like it makes sense to me. That might actually help in the algorithm too. I might start clicking on the ads on Watchtower database videos just to see what's going on. My favorite characters in this book are the ogres. Me too. These are really good ogres. I should put chapter 9. We get bigger ogres in all caps in the characters list. Let's see. So mentions of time. We have Mordred has been 12 years old for centuries. There we go. That takes both mentions of time that we've gotten so far. Let's see. We're at page 114. I'm gonna read this last bit of the chapter before taking the next break, and then we're just gonna have 3 pages of epilogue. So if you guys want a question and answer session, be sure to get those questions in, and we'll go over all that after the book's done. And of course, we can talk about our impressions of the book as a whole. Those of you who have been here the entire time, or those of you who have been here for just parts of it, whatever your thoughts were on the book. But yeah, so let's hop back into the chapter. We're almost done. When Superman emerged from the fortress, he was surprised to discover that he was not outside in some remote forest, but instead back in the ancient treasures gallery in Metropolis. The Man of Steel's sudden appearance startled William Van Nostrand, who was still busy cleaning up from the media circus that had overtaken his gallery. There was no evidence remaining of the cocoon that had caused such a commotion. Oh, I forgot the voice I gave Van Nostrand. I'm going to give him an old man voice. Superman! That's not a good old man voice. Van Nostrand exclaimed. You look like yourself! Yes, Mr. Van Nostrand, the Man of Steel said, smiling. Gold was definitely not my color. I'm glad to be back, though I'm not quite sure how I got here. Switching on his comlink, Superman attempted to contact his teammates. Batman, Flash, are you all right? We were just wondering the same about you, Batman replied. Where are you? At the Ancient Treasures Gallery, Superman replied. And you? As soon as we left the fortress... Oh, shit, that's Batman. As soon as we left the fortress, Flash and I suddenly found ourselves back aboard the Watchtower, Batman explained.
In the lab where we were standing when LaFay transported us.
So we each ended up back where we were when she magically brought us to the fortress, Superman said.
The more I think about it,
Batman began,
the more I believe that the entire fortress was a magical construct that did not exist in our physical universe. When her spell ended, we simply returned to where we have been.
Van Nostrand stepped up next to Superman. Excuse me, he said softly. I don't mean to interrupt, but do you have the crown of Pendragon?
It's safe,
Batman replied, having heard the question over Superman's comlink.
But I think it would be best if it stayed on the watchtower for safekeeping. Bringing it back to the gallery would just put you in danger again. Superman could explain. Agreed,
Superman said.
I'm heading to the museum to check on Dr. Milton,
Batman announced.
Meet me there when you can.
Understood, Superman replied. I'm just going to give Mr. Van Nostrand a hand. With his super strength and super speed, the Man of Steel helped the proprietor right heavy statues, put books back in their proper places, and clean up the mess that had overtaken his gallery. As Superman worked, he filled the proprietor in on the strange events surrounding the crown. Van Nostrand looked at the Man of Steel sadly. The crown of Pendragon is a prized piece, he said, but its magical powers makes it a danger. Please keep it safely hidden. I prefer to deal with antiquities whose magic lies in the history and beauty. The Justice League straight up stole this thing. Like, they don't fucking care, dude. Like, I know we get Van Nostrand, like, agreeing to it, but, like, come on, man. Was he really gonna disagree with a bunch of superpowered motherfuckers? Like, they're using their privilege. Superman arrived at the Metropolis Museum of Art and made his way up the wide marble stairs. As he walked past the exhibits, he was amazed to see that the many mummies that had come to life and attacked him were now quite still and well behaved, back in their rightful displays. Reaching the top floor, he saw the bronze dragon and sculpted demon that he had battled, also quite harmlessly exhibited. Arriving at Dr. Milton's office, Superman tapped on the glass door and was told to enter. Walking in, he found Batman talking with the doctor. Looks like everything's back to normal, the Man of Steel said. Oh, I don't remember the voice I gave Dr. Milton either. Yes, Superman, Dr. Milton agreed. Amazingly enough, it seems that when the magic spell was released from the exhibits, they returned to their previous condition. It was easy to set the displays back up as if the whole thing had never happened. Thinking back now, it almost feels the whole episode was a dream, Superman commented. More like a nightmare, Batman said. Thank you, Doctor. I'll see you again soon. Well, goodbye, Batman, the doctor replied. Don't stay away too long. Your visits always add a little excitement to life among the dusty relics of the past. The two heroes strode from the museum into the lush green of Centennial Park. Who's this line? Oh, that's Superman. I never got a chance to ask how you knew that the gold Superman wasn't really me, the Man of Steel said as the two heroes paused. Once we learned of the crown's origin, and knowing of your vulnerability to magic, I immediately thought of Morgan Le Fay, Batman explained. She's been trying to place her son on the throne of New Camelot since the time of King Arthur. I just needed to go along with the investigation until she tipped her hand. As for the imposter, I thought from the start that the whole butterfly-like metamorphosis idea was a bit far-fetched when Jean suggested it, but I figured that there was no harm in letting Le Fay think that we didn't suspect her magical involvement. When the kryptonite had no effect on you, I was pretty sure that the golden version was an imposter, placed there to take the crown. But what clinched it for me was that the fake Superman didn't recognize Lois. I know how much she means to you, and I don't care what changes you go through. That's one woman you just don't forget. Superman smiled. No argument there, my friend, he said softly. No argument at all. All right, we've got a 3-page epilogue left, but what are y'all... Damn it, I assumed William was the villain. How did Superman escape? Wasted a perfectly good plot. Imagine if Lois actually had a role in the story beyond that one character. And it was actually about, Superman dealing with not remembering all of the people he loves and trusts. But nope, OMFG. Dr. Milton is a hillbilly. I was trying to go for a Bill Cosby kind of voice with pudding pops and stuff. But yeah, we'll make him a hillbilly. Oh, my cat's just sitting here across the table staring at me. I think he wants to hang out, but he sees everything on the table and knows he can't come up here. Superman's logic, Morgan Le Fay is the only magical villain in existence. I'll admit I totally blinked out while they were defeating Mordred and his evil mom. Yeah, there wasn't really a lot interesting going on there. The epilogue. Clark Kent sat at his desk at the... Oh, okay. He's on the table now. He's in the light. Clark Kent sat at his desk at the Daily Planet, busily typing away, putting the finishing touches on his dog show story. Somehow, after the events of the past few days, working on his lightweight story didn't seem so bad. He was pleased for a bit of boring normalcy in his world following the bizarre confrontation with the mystical powers of a dark sorceress. His office had been... Why does this dog show story even matter anymore? Like, it's not newsworthy. It's been days. His office had been cleaned up and repaired by the maintenance staff so that no signs were left of the massive struggle that had taken place there. Simon Rose, the night watchman who had brought the gray box to Clark's office, had been released from the hospital that morning, none the worse for wear, and with no memory of his magically induced trauma. Not even bothering to knock this time, Lois Lane flung open the door to Clark's office and hurried in. "Who's there?" Clark asked, looking up at Lois, but acting as if she was still on the other side of the door. "Lois? Well, of course you could come in. Be my guest." "Cute, Clark," Lois said. "I understand you had a bit of excitement here the other day." "Really?" Clark replied innocently. "I wouldn't know. As soon as anything interesting or dangerous happens, you know I'm out of here faster than as fast as I can leave. I heard a crash, and that was enough for me. I grabbed my laptop and went home to finish my story." "The dog show story," Lois said pointedly. "Right, the dog show story," Clark echoed. "Anyway, when I got home, I flipped on the TV and got hooked on the vigil at the antiques place. Something about Superman in a cocoon. I didn't really get what was going on, but it captured my interest enough so that my dog story got put aside. That's why I'm here finishing it up." Lois tossed a copy of that morning's Daily Planet onto Clark's desk. "If you're interested in getting what was really going on," she said, "I suggest you read all about it in my exclusive in today's edition." Clark glanced down at the top of the story. Above a photo of Superman breaking out of the cocoon, the headline read, "Golden Superman out of control. A hero gone berserk. Exclusive story by Lois Lane." Clark smiled. "Like you always say, Lois," he began, "the best reporters get the best stories." We got in about the author. I'll read that, and let you guys drop your comments, your thoughts on the book as a whole, all that kind of stuff while I'm reading that, and then we can kind of go over them together. Because I know there's a little bit of a lag, so if I just jump in now, you guys aren't going to have them there, and I'm going to feel like, oh, everything's done and over with, and we're good to go. So, just like drop whatever in there now while I read about the author. Michael Teitelbaum is the author of Justice League Secret Origins and Justice League Red Justice. He has been a writer, editor, and packager of children's books, comic books, and magazines for more than 20 years. He has worked on staff as an editor at Gold Key Comics, Golden Books, Putnam Grosset, and Macmillan. His packaging company, Town Brook Press, created and packaged Spider-Man Magazine, a monthly publication for Marvel Entertainment. Michael Teitelbaum's more recent writing includes the Garfield Pet Force books, a series of 5 titles, Breaking Barriers in Sports. Oh wait, hold on. Breaking Barriers in Sports in Life, based on the life of Jackie Robinson, Samurai Jack: The Legend Begins, and Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, all published by Scholastic. Junior novels based on the feature films Men in Black 2 and Spider-Man from HarperCollins, and Smallville: Arrival from Little Brown. Michael and his wife, Shelleyga, Shelleyga, split their time between New York City and their 160-year-old farmhouse in upstate New York. Damn, these guys can afford 2 houses off of that bad of writing. And basically, I'm just here fucking up. Hold on, come here. Let them see why my nose itches. You're sitting here in the light. All right. Okay. All right, so the book is over. My thoughts is it probably would have been better. Oh yeah, here he is, guys. It probably would have been better as a TV episode. I feel like there were some interesting concepts there, but like the execution was a bit off. Like I would have been interested in seeing like the Golden Superman stuff. I feel like the imagery of like Morgan Le Fay's fortress could have had some cool stuff going on there. Maybe even like the imagery of like all the statues and stuff coming to life. But like in the book form where it's like all action that doesn't matter, it doesn't feel like it matters, you know? But yeah, what do y'all gotta say? Bill Cosby. So Dr. What's His Face is a horrible creeper. No, Jack Ryder's the creeper, you silly. No, if it's Bill Cosby, you gotta babble a few times. Yes. Don't newspapers have strict deadlines? Exactly. That's my thought. But it's a dog show. I don't think the story mattered in the first place. Yeah, pretty much. After a few days, the story is irrelevant. I think it's bad writing that Superman didn't get help in the final fight against Mordred and Morgan Le Fay. Yeah, it wastes a chance to see Superman fighting an evil version of himself. Oh, definitely. Like, I think it pretty much said that, like, he turned back into Mordred once they got to the fortress area. Like, it definitely would have been a cool visual to see, like, Superman versus Superman, you know, but instead they decided to, excuse me. They decided to throw Superman under a pile of rubble and have Morgan Le Fay attack Batman and have the Flash fight ogres. You know, it's there's like I said, there's definitely cool concepts there to work with, but it's not executed very well. But you know, hopefully one of the other ones will be better. From what I was told, Wings of War has Bane in it. And it's got Hawkgirl on the cover, so you know, more female badassery instead of Lois Lane just kind of being there pining over Superman. I think it's bad writing that Superman did blah blah blah. The Daily Planet peeps have laptops. I guess so. I know I guess like it's the early 2000s. I guess laptops were a thing. I would assume that that writers would need laptops. That way they could work wherever they are. And cathartic for Superman getting trapped for half of the story. Yeah. I think the first half of the book was better. This book is weird. Yeah, it's definitely it was something. I can tell it was made on a deadline. Even if it was a TV episode, it would suck. Well, see, I feel like if it was a TV episode, it would have been handed off to a more competent crew that had more experience with this cast of characters already. Because like I said, it's already from what we read, it's obvious that the book came out late in the show's lifetime. Like after the first season was over for sure. Maybe halfway through the second season. I don't remember how far in Night of Shadows was. But either way, like if you hand it off to the TV crew, they would have had like a more clean way of doing the story. I feel like it doesn't matter who is wrong and who is right. Nothing matters. This whole book didn't matter. Golden Superman should have been in Act 1. How was Morgan and Mordred? Yeah, so Golden Superman definitely should have been in Act 1. It would have made the book a lot more interesting. Oh, my cats are fighting. Yeah, it would have. So I think if you had, instead of doing what they did, if they had like the ogres show up at Clark's office, Superman fights them, and then like say Clark's office is trashed when everyone from the planet comes in the morning, and security footage shows Superman in the building, and then there's a big old cocoon in the front lobby. I feel like the only downside to that would be that, like, I don't know how you would get the box from the Daily Planet to wherever. Perhaps the box is still there. Like, the box is what caused Superman to cocoon. So it had to. I don't know. Well, no, it was Morgan that caused Superman. I don't know. But I think if we had it set up like that, where Superman showed like in the cocoon at the Daily Planet and Clark was missing, it would give more stakes for Lois, because she would be like, oh, what the hell happened to Clark? What's going on with Superman? Oh my God, everything's turning upside down. And then it would give us more time throughout the book to get accustomed to Golden Superman and give him motives, and it wouldn't feel as though we were villainless for as much of the book as we were. Like, why wait to the third act to show off your villains? It's weird. How was Morgan and Mordred defeated again? I'm pretty sure it was Flash was just beating the shit out of the ogres. And then they were like, oh, well, there goes our army. Let's get out of here. I find it dumb that Morgan's attempt on that guy at the beginning was a failure. Yeah, right? Like, how, like, that's another thing they could have done. They could have just had that work out. But seriously, just grab the crown from the dude she tried to seduce. Yeah, why did... Because obviously she could transport Mordred into the real world. Could she not transport herself? Can you read your notes out loud? I don't know if the notes themselves are really interesting. I won't read the list of appearances. Well, I can. So appearances, we've got Simon Rose, Lillian Rose, Lois Lane, Kate, Clark Kent / Superman, Perry White was mentioned, the mayor was mentioned, Shelby the Smooth Collie was mentioned. Then we had Ogre number 1, Ogre number 2, Bruce Wayne / Batman, Man number 1, Man number 2, Jim, Man number 4, Man number 5, Gotham City Police Department, John Jones, Wally West / The Flash, Martha Wayne mentioned, Thomas Wayne mentioned, Martha Kent and Jonathan Kent both mentioned, Jor-El and Laura mentioned, Dr. Milton, Demon 1, so I guess there must have been other demons, Dragon, Horde of Mummies, 3 Gargoyles, 2 Joggers, William Van Nostrand, Ancient Treasures, The Crown of Pendragon, King Arthur, The Knights of the Round Table, Hawk Girl was mentioned, Centennial Park, WGBS TV, Snapper Carr, the cameraman for that TV station, the news director for that TV station, Cat Grant, Unnamed Reporters, Lex Luthor was mentioned, News at 6, Jimmy Olsen, Mordred / Golden Superman. Then we had some pedestrians. Then we had Morgan Le Fay. Merlin was mentioned. Camelot was mentioned. Then bigger ogres. As far as stuff that was potentially not canon, Superman says Great Scott instead of Great Row. The Watchtower has the best available science lab, but Justice League vs. Fatal 5 has them take the time bubble elsewhere. Batman apparently owns an underwater breathing apparatus, but there isn't one built into Terry's suit. I don't feel like either of those are huge problems, or any of them so far. The apparatus is used by Superman to breathe in space instead of his spacesuit. So that's it for stuff that could make it not canon. In show events, it alluded to World's Finest and Secret Origins. I put Batman has a whirlicopter because I don't remember if that happened in the show or not. They mentioned the events of Last Son of Krypton. Batman said he worked with Dr. Milton in the past. I don't remember Dr. Milton from the show, but it's possible that he was in there. I'll have to double check that. Lex Luthor is suggested to have been a villain before. I wrote that sentence weird. Or Lex Luthor is suggested to be the villain. So I was saying, is it before A Better World? I guess it could be after A Better World, and they still just don't know if they trust Luthor. Lois dating Batman was mentioned from World's Finest. Batman has kryptonite, which was something that happened in the show for sure. Morgan has tried building New Camelot before, which happened in Night and Shadows. For stuff for time passing, Lillian, Simon's wife, passed away 18 months ago. The gallery was converted from an abandoned factory years earlier. Simon was a cop for 25 years and a detective for 15 of those years. The dog show was earlier that afternoon. Clark was in his office around midnight. Simon Rose bust in a little after midnight. Let's see. For many years, the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight had teamed up. That was it. For many years. That was the thing that had me think in 2002. It's more than 2 years. 3 still isn't many years, but whatever. Close enough. Flash is said to be young. The museum has art spanning 5,000 years. Van Nostrand had opened up ancient treasures 30 years ago. He's in his 60s now. There was a 16th century weaponry book. In Chapter 5, the book had started the night before. Flash was once again mentioned to be young. Superman is seemingly midlife. Snapper Carr is mentioned to be young. Jamie Olsen's mentioned to be young. World's Finest was a few years ago. So like I said, many years ago earlier, and then it changes to few years ago. So it's fine. Let's see. Chapter 6 ends at dawn of the second day. Let's see. Chapter 8, John and Superman have known each other for years. Chapter 9, Mordred had been 12 years old for centuries. I guess technically the epilogue would be on a third day. The way that things were worded, they were talking about the morning edition of the paper with what's her face, with Lois's story. Stuff that was concrete. Superman, Lois Lane, Justice League, Watchtower, John Jones. I guess technically Hawk Girl as well, but whatever. And then pop culture references. We had Houston, we have a problem, a reference to the Alien films, and then Midas. So, those are the notes that I have. That's all of it. Also, while the Creeper is a creeper, he isn't as horrible as Bill Cosby, but on an actually funny note. I feel like this book would be better if it was about the dog show instead. Yes, we need Justice League dog show book. That's what we need. We need to know all about what's his face, the Smooth Collie. We need to make that into a meme shirt or something. We need to turn Shelby the Smooth Collie into a meme. If you guys are part of our Discord, go ahead and just drop in there and just say Shelby the Smooth Collie without any context. Just put a wall of that. There are 5 of you watching. Do it. Let's see what I would do. Superman tries bringing the box to the Professor Dude, but then the crown infects him as he is looking at it with the Professor Dude. The crown starts to glow, and then the Superman tries to stop it from hurting the dude. and by doing so infects him, so the professor tells the press what happens and the story continues from there. Or the orcs, they're not orcs, they're ogres. They're Shreks. It's all Shrek. There's just a bunch of Shreks. The orcs try to steal the crown from Superman, and Superman accidentally touches it or something, and it turns him into the Golden Superman as he's in the office. So I feel like he's got to get rid of the ogres first before turning into Golden Superman, and that's why I feel like you'd have to like get the office trashed and everything, and set up the whole like where is Clark Kent. And then have Superman elsewhere in the building because he's been fighting the ogres. Because if the ogres are around, they can just bring the crown to Morgan. So will it canon? It's looking like it will. Maybe have a random office worker like a janitor get attacked by the ogres, and the crown tries to do something to the janitor, so Superman grabs it and it infects him. Then the way they beat Morgan and Mordred is really stupidly boring. Yeah, I won't argue with you there. I don't know how else they would have done it, but I won't argue with you there. There definitely should have been a Superman versus Superman battle while Flash and Batman were both fighting the ogres or something. I feel like Morgan Le Fay, I don't know what they would have done to her specifically, but Morgan Le Fay's not really an interesting character to me. Neither is Mordred, but like if he's Golden Superman, then it adds a little bit more interesting to it. They just punched them. Have like Superman break the crown. Yes, best Justice League character ever. Shelby the Smooth Collie. I don't know how to spell it. I agree on the ogre part. I believe it was Shelby the Smooth Collie. There you go. I think that's right. How did I spell it in my notes? Oh, it's hold on, it's actually Shelby. That's it. There we go. But yeah, so that was Justice League, A Golden Opportunity. Thank you guys for watching, reading along with me. It might not have been fun, but it sure was something. It kept some of y'all coming back. But that being said, it's like 6 o'clock. So I've been on this for 2 hours. And I've got other things I need to get done. So I'm going to go ahead, hop out of this, go take care of some other stuff. And I will see you guys not next Wednesday, probably 2 Wednesdays from now. Like I said earlier, I'll put a poll up on Twitter to be like, hey, which book do we cover next? If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it's at Maddie Washburn. And so go ahead, give me a follow over there. I'll put the poll up and we can vote for that over there. There's a couple more things. Sad that man number 4 didn't make his epic anime return. Right? If one of the 5 men, if man number 2 showed up, like what? It's Chekhov's man number 4. You don't put a man number 4 into the book if you're not gonna bring him back. No, thank you for the great voices of all the characters. The voices were so inconsistent. I feel like my Flash voice was probably my most consistent, just because like I tried to channel Sonic the whole time. The Batman voice was definitely inconsistent. Like I knew what I was trying to do, but that voice hurts. So it was hard to try to keep it going. But it was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did this. I'm not looking forward to doing a Batman book and hurting my voice the whole way through. But you know, we're gonna vote on it. At Maddie Washburn on Twitter. I'll put the poll up in just a couple minutes, and I'll leave it up there for like maybe 2 days, I think, and that way we'll know by then what to expect when I come back from vacation. But yeah, you know, had a lot of fun with this, and it's gonna be fun moving on to the next one. I'm gonna go ahead, get off, take care of some things that I need to take care of. My nose is itching terribly, and I think that my cats are hungry. But yeah, as always, love you guys. And hey, this time I will see y'all in 2 weeks. I get to end with a vanishing point outro. All right, bye. Love ya. Kiss your dads.